Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of Dark Matter. I'm your GM, Wandering the M, and yes, sound is going to work for everyone. We are going to jump right back into where we left off, since we already know who's playing who thanks to our superb intro. I have a few announcements, but I'll wait until the end of the show for that. So before we begin, let's ask Kebichet what happened last time.
Well, good evening, you all. Why is this not working? Sorry, all. Well, we apparently had some interesting events happen last week, and we decided that it would be appropriate to put down on Lokshay Prime, I believe it was, and Eddard asked assistance in gaining access to a repository, the National Archives, I believe they're called. Then we discovered certain limitations on our ability to appropriate that information because they prevent any electronics from proceeding through. So we planned to be polite about asking and let Doxy use my own devices to access information if necessary. However, certain people decided that it would be appropriate to use one's actual name when talking to a figure of authority on a foreign planet, and discovered that Eddard is a wanted person to the tune of a million credits?
Yes,
Yeah.
1 million.
Million credits.
Million credits.
I am popular.
This led to a small debate over whether or not we should the best way to get off this planet. The arrival of certain bounty hunters who decided to try and shoot me in the back. It was most upsetting. I did not like it. But we did have I had a very pleasant conversation with the gnomish receptionist, who apparently is rather infatuated or taken with Doxy at the moment.
Who isn't?
That is a question. I don't know of anyone who actually is. There were a large number of people who ended up removed from the situation. I was very nice at the end and healed a whole bunch of people who were otherwise in danger. Doxy did manage to appropriate some of the information that was necessary, and I believe now I'm about to turn the bodies and everything is cleaned up. I was about to turn to Eddard and try and provide more medical attention.
Yep. As we pick back up, the security agents that you've left alive have taken the bodies out of the National Archives. They are still in the process of cleaning up everything else, like the blood spatters, the casings of whatever physical projectiles were fired during this encounter, leaving you in a corner next to the coffee machine, in a corner of the archives, to discuss amongst yourselves. Of course, for now things are quiet, but who knows what might happen.
So we have a chance of getting in, not in touch, but getting assaulted again.
You don't
By
know.
more troops.
Nobody knows.
Before
So
we go
I-
any
I was
further.
going to say, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, before we go any further and allow you guys, you kind gentlemen, to discuss certain things and figure out what exactly it is you want to do, let me fix Eddard's face. Maybe next time don't lead with the nose for...
Not my nose.
And she's going... You see her hands just start to glow black and red and blue and kind of put them on your face and just kind of pull it down, the lacerations, and crack the nose back in place, and I'm going to cast
Ow.
Cure Wounds on you.
Well, I would say that that went well. Surprisingly so. Yes. Let me do some things, and I'm going to basically, I guess, now that I have access to their system,
Mhm.
I have Loxy basically in the background
navigating the system, and like while all this was going down, Loxy was essentially interpreting the system and making sure that whatever protocols or programs that I ran would run properly. My idea is that Doxy would set up like kind of not a red herring, but basically a false alert or a like diversion, basically a diversion tactic of, oh, they've moved on from I don't even know if to do it that way, but basically the idea is that have them lose the scent of like, oh, there was a false alarm at the National Archives that this criminal the Cade family
Someone tripped on the file by mistake, and
right,
and that's what. Then go ahead and roll data.
Okay, data. And would I be able to utilize any of my other skills to give myself a little bit of a bonus or like an advantage or anything like that?
What tool proficiencies do you have?
Like everything: circuitry, data, technology, mechanist, alchemy supplies, ship maintenance, tinkering tools, interface kit.
All right, give yourself a +2 for the interface kit, and
do you say out loud that you're attempting to do this?
Yeah, I'm basically like I was basically going into a little bit of a diatribe of like describing what I was going to do, but then I'm like, all right, I'm going to see about clearing us.
Let me help you a little bit with that, darling. I don't like being tracked any more than anyone else does, and your skills are so much better than I am. So let me guide you on your path. And she just kind of lets the dark light fall out of her hand onto your head and gives you guidance.
Sweet.
So a d20 plus your data +2 plus 1d4.
Okay.
Which at this point I doubt that you're gonna fail.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Let me roll the data for whoever is going to do counter intelligence on that.
Ooh, counter intelligence against Doxy.
The additives. Holy shit. Okay, let me roll a 1d4. 1d4.
You didn't roll the d4 yet?
Nope.
Okay.
That didn't work. It didn't work, Eddie, because it's 1d4.
Oh.
You made a typo.
And then I'm gonna add 4. You said +2 for my interface, so a total of +4 for 29.
All right. I got a 22.
Ooh.
So you're clear. You send out your false information, and you wait patiently a few moments for the inevitable counter attack by one of their own member of their cybersecurity team, and nothing.
Loxy sniffs it out. Yeah, Loxy's just like, all right, I think we're in the clear. Let's get the data and skedaddle.
All right. So in addition to the information on our good friend Edit over here, I need you to dig up some information on some experiments that his folks were running.
Oh, hold on, my folks? I didn't even know I was related to them before now.
So, real quick, Simon, would I be able to, on top of that, basically make it so that if we trip any of those files again, I prevent that from actually triggering any alerts?
You already downloaded the files on Eddard, so unless you wanted to put them back in, like re-upload them and then download them again, yeah, probably. But otherwise, what I assumed you did was that you extracted the files. You didn't only download a copy, but you removed the files from their system.
Oh.
And so you're the only ones with it at the moment.
I'm down with that.
So instead of doing a copy paste, you did a cut paste.
Yeah.
Hacker.
Control X because he's a hacker. So make another data check for the experiments.
Okay.
So Zendak, what are you looking for?
Your parents were involved in some experiments, and
you keep saying my parents. Listen, I don't know how long I've been frozen for. I'm pretty sure my parents have nothing to do with this anymore.
Information I have says otherwise. And remember what the librarian said about how you wanted for what your parents experimented with?
I'm pretty sure all that they said they wanted was wanted was because he's still alive and could possibly inherit a throne.
What
I
you
don't
said.
remember
was
any-
that-
I don't remember any question of experimentation.
The
How could-
experiments, by the way, that Spider... You're talking about what Spider asked you?
Yeah, I thought that was mentioned again elsewhere. Wasn't that also something that was talked about previously?
But not by his... Eder doesn't have any family left. What Spider meant was Lakshayans in general.
Oh, okay.
But it's okay. When you mentioned their folk, I assumed that you were talking about, his people, the Lakshayans. So that's
Yeah,
an
no,
18.
I was confused because I thought it was his parents were involved with specific experiments.
It's okay. With the DC 18 Doxy, you get it. You download 100% of the data about a thing called Project Rothian.
Oh shit.
That is ominous.
Okay. Data. Okay. I got it. Cool. So it seems they were involved in a project called Rothian Project?
Yeah, if you can send that to my personal computer to review, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Wait,
I was going down Drive. So yes, it will be with us when we need it.
you mean the Rothian, the monsters? The people here have been
Oh.
experimenting on the monsters?
I
To be
got to.
determined.
Not to worry, my dear. They are far from here right now, and this was very old data. So, it
That would just make my day even worse.
would-
Is Calm Emotion still up?
Yeah, true, it would still be up. So she says the same thing, but like in a completely neutral tone. Oh, that would make my day even more horrible. She
Right
turned
here,
into
where we
Daria.
Okay, that too.
Well,
Well,
is there anything else that we're looking for here?
My
You know,
number.
Ho ho ho! Somebody's got a date.
I mean, weren't we planning to go to a certain? I think there was a discussion of a beach.
Paradise
Stop-
Planet. Yeah.
Yeah, we head into Paradise 1 after this.
Ah, there it is.
Maybe Doxy could invite your new friend to meet you there.
Oh, sure. Yeah. What was the name of the planet again?
It's
Paradise
Paradise,
What?
Paradise 1, which,
Oh, that's a-
out of character, everyone knows that it's like the nicest of nicest resort planets. Like, it's where you go for vacation.
Got it. Well, yeah, sure. And like Doxy's like very, you can see his like demeanor's like, yeah. So I guess we're going to Paradise One, and he shoots her, like a pseudonym that he has, or like a pseudo contact info.
Mhm.
Like, I can destroy this if I want to.
Nice,
Um,
smooth.
She replies, "Oh boy, okay. I'm gonna go get my bags ready."
I'm gonna pull my gnome friend to the side, Doxy. Hey, I should let you know. I hope you gave her the same number I gave her, because she was asking about you earlier, and we didn't know if you were going to be back in here. And I gave you your number, because, you seemed like there was a connection.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Yes, I mean, indeed, I did give her the same number. Just the contact info I gave her, I can recall at any moment, so she won't have it anymore.
Okay.
Caution I take just in case,
Well, good luck, because I, gave her something a little bit more permanent with a piece of paper.
Ah, paper.
Analog, your worst enemy.
How quaint.
I just thought you should know.
Thank you. And Doxy just walked away.
while you're at the archives, is there anything else that you would like to look for?
I sent you a thing. In private.
Ooh,
Okay.
Mr. Acker.
Make a regular data check, and I can give you that information.
Oh, right. Data.
Yeah. Without
And if
the
you-
guidance. Unless you say it out loud and Kevichet gives you guidance again.
Nah, it's okay.
All right.
You get guidance. You get guidance. You get guidance.
And that's a 10. All right, let me just note that down. And I can send you that info during the break if you're okay with that.
Oh, I guess it would be +2, so 12.
12?
'Cause
All right.
Right, because you were
I-
telling me that.
No
Sorry?
worries.
I personally vote that we get off this planet before we have to shoot anyone else.
I agree. I
I
do
think
not wish to
that-
be shot upon nor shoot anybody else right now.
I'm gonna meet you at Paradise 1 then.
Yes, exactly, darling. And we'll go shopping.
I can't wait.
All right, and she just like leaves. Unfortunately, she would have been excited, but she's on calm emotion, so she just nonchalantly walked down the hall and out the National Archives.
It's a
As-
better
as
look
we-
for her.
as we walk away, and I would imagine actually Doxy would remember this because he has better memory than I do.
Mhm.
What was her name again?
Nobody asked her.
I did.
Oh, really?
No,
I
I
did
did.
last week. Yeah, or well, she did, and I
Okay.
heard it rather.
All right, what was her name?
It's hold on, it's in my notes. Hold on. It's in last week's. It's in my
The
notes.
DM forgot.
It's okay, it was at the end of the week. Oh, Rosemary.
Rosemary.
How did Justin get a double 2020 on data? What? Cheating. He hacked the system. No.
That's the whole point.
All right. So those secret rolls have been rolled, and with that, the group takes their belongings and leave the National Archives.
So we're still sticking out like sore thumbs, and my
But now
face
you're-
is a little bit better than before,
No,
but
that-
still.
Now your face is fine. Well, I mean, your face is fine, and we can kind of hide the rest of the blood, and we'll get on the ship and we'll leave.
Okay. In that case, we do a beeline, I suppose.
Yes. Also, remember, officer, commander, the lady you're escorting.
All
We'll
of,
stick out like a sore thumb, but a good one.
all of you make a perception check on your way to the ship.
Okay.
Okay.
There's
Is
a
this-
bomb.
Is there under my perception?
It would be a DC 15.
Okay, because mine is passive is
So
18.
if your passive is higher than 18, we can use your passive.
Hold
I mean, I
on.
can-
I do have a passive on
Nice.
perception and investigation, so yeah, a 19. That's way better than my 11.
Yeah, and I got an 11 as well, which is my passive is an 18. So
All right. So everyone notices that there are people following you.
All right.
And it doesn't look like they're dressed in any military uniform, though on Lakshay everyone appears to be a soldier in R&R. It's just these like civilians that keep turning around when you walk by and then end up going the same direction you're going.
Can we try to do like a right turn to see if they are following us?
Yes, Kevichet, you cast Nondescript as a ritual.
no,
I'm using Rushed Incantation to cast Nondescript, and I slip off.
So as soon as I turn a corner, I'm going to cast cloaking and basically like if there's a way for me to
Split from the group.
yeah, I will basically split from the group and disappear tonight.
Kebichet, do you cast it using a spell slot?
No, I don't cast anything. He does.
Oh, that was. Oh, okay. I thought it was you that showed up the nondescript. Sorry, the name was missing. All right, so
This is Justin.
Zendak. Yeah, but I was looking at the overlay.
Oh.
So Zendak goes in a different direction. Now looking like a completely normal halfling Lakshayan. And so does Doxy, with different clothing, walk off in a different direction. And you notice, as you're like going around, you know, turning in a circle, that some of them did split and follow Zendak and Doxy.
They're on to you.
But others kept following you. Though you get to the ship without any trouble. The moment you enter your ship, those that were following you, the half a dozen people, sort of
Half a
just
dozen?
yeah, they just mill about. They weren't the best spies by far, but they were probably waiting for an order, and the order never came. Oh, you were disappearing. They never followed you if you're invisible.
And I don't think they would have been able to follow me because, like, they look at me and then suddenly it's just like I'm another person in the crowd.
But they still broke away. They didn't follow you, but they broke away thinking that, you know, they had to cover everything. They did see that your group went from, you know, 5 people to 3.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
But
But visually, I was just like, okay, what's happening?
Oh.
Okay.
yeah, 4 to 2, because Red's on the ship.
Oh, that's right.
But you get to the ship without further issues, unless you want to cause them, Keb.
Oh no, she doesn't. She's just
Nope.
she looks at Eddard and goes, "We're moving right along and getting off this planet."
Absolutely.
And your ship takes off. And the moment that you leave the orbit of Lakshay 1, you all breathe a sigh of relief.
I think I breathed a bigger one than anybody. 1,000,000 credits.
Yes.
I'm worth 1,000,000 credits dead. Just not even alive. Dead.
There is... the news are playing on the ship. As Red was watching the, you know, TV as you were waiting. And,
Breaking news.
breaking news.
Nice.
The criminal, known only as the heir to the Cade family, has been spotted on Lakshay 1. We demand that everyone be extremely careful. Do not approach this gentleman. Consider him armed and dangerous at all times. This very particular individual has a bounty worth 1,000,000 credits on their head, and you see Red, the face, like a 3D model face of Eddard, just rotate. And you're
Nah,
all
they
of
got
it.
my nose wrong. Or was it already broken?
No, darling. They only got that before, or well, you look much better with now. Much better.
Okay, as long as I keep my nose, I think everything else is good.
There's another ad that plays right after the breaking news.
If it's rhinoplasty, I'm gonna be very mad.
No, it's actually Finns Fisterberg, Harris of the Fisterberg House of Entertainment. Think like Space Disney. She is building a new theme park on Paradise One. And she invites all the kids and their families to attend to the grand opening of Finn's Field of Fun.
Well, we do have kids. I mean, with Doxy's 80 kids, we should be able to fill like a few rides.
I wonder how many of them will meet there.
All of them.
I was about to say, like, if I'm going to go on a date, and then all of a sudden, like, 50 kids, like, come up.
That's
Daddy,
perfect.
Daddy! She's gonna ask a lot of questions.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and retire to my room to review the files that were obtained.
I'm going to be right behind you.
I'm gonna close the door behind me.
Hey, hold up here. I'm gonna knock on the door.
Come back in like a couple hours.
I'm gonna knock
Doxy-
again.
Do you
All
want
right.
me to leave you guys alone? I mean, I still haven't. I need to give you the files first.
I thought you transferred them.
No, I said I have them with me, and I can transfer them once we get onto the ship. I haven't given them to you yet.
Okay. The door now opens.
Much better.
And without any physical interaction at all, Dox is like, "Here you go." And he just like sends it off.
And
I'm gonna
I
take a
immediately
step
close the
inside.
door.
Ah! And then face on door. Just not the right initiative.
Were you checking, going over the Ethered files, Zendak, or were you just going over the files that Spider asked you to?
Yeah, the ones that Spider asked me to review.
Okay.
At least for now. I'll probably review the edited ones in public, or at our briefing room.
Kitchen.
Yeah.
The kitchen, you know.
There is a scratch at your doors, Red.
That's not me.
It's me. No, just kidding.
Shred, I'm
I'll
missing
open it.
you.
There
that thing. Come
sits Stella
Oh.
with a line of Wizmos behind her,
No.
each of them holding a jelly bean.
Oh. My minions grow.
And they like
Spare me.
they all come in one by one and put the jelly beans at the foot of your dragon,
Oh.
of the dragon, and the dragon, which doesn't have a name yet, just gets up and does that, like a dog that walks in circles before lying down. Yeah, it does the same on the jelly beans.
Oh my gosh.
That's his treasure.
It's trying
It's-
hard.
It's yeah,
Horde.
it has
Son of
begun.
a-
It has begun to hoard.
In your room.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. There's weirder things that are going on in my room right now.
Doesn't that dragon have like weird eyes floating in it right now too?
Only when you jump through the void.
Oh, okay. No big deal.
Yeah.
Just
Otherwise, it just looks like space.
Which
Space.
Captain, should I set course for the Paradise One?
yeah, absolutely.
Twitch says, "Oh, Paradise One. I currently have 4 messages left for you, Doxy, about Paradise One.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
So it starts.
I can play one of them if you wish."
Sure, I'll take it in my room.
Twitch.
All right.
Twitch.
What?
Can you please let me hear that? I want to hear those messages too.
Beep.
Which,
And then we can go to the beach, and then we can have margaritas, or we could have like daiquiris, and then I figure we could play some ultimate frisbee on the beach, and then probably like some beach volleyball. I heard that beach volleyball was like the thing to try this year. And then maybe, oh my god, I'm rambling again. I'm very sorry, Doxy. I'll leave you now. Beep.
I kind of imagine it being the voicemails that they like cut themselves off at the end of the voicemail, and
Yeah.
then, like, they continue the conversation on a
There's
second.
that was message 3 out of 4.
Okay.
This is amazing.
Apparently, without calm emotion, she is really nervous and really hyped up.
Twitch, darling, do we know how long it'll take us to get there?
It'll take us about 4 days.
Well, I'm a little tired. I'm a little stressed. I'm going to meditate. Don't do anything stupid.
No, wait. Yeah, I promise. I was gonna say no promises. I think it's a good thing I promise.
It's okay. In your absence while you were on Lakshay, I studied your patterns and I've come up with ways to prevent you from doing anything. All of you. I have developed individual means of sequestering you whenever I need to. Look, I'll apply it to Eddard right now. And
Hold up.
there's like the baby fences that you put like on stairs and stuff that just appears around Eddard.
Can I just like walk above it like?
Well, yes.
Haha! Foiled again.
And
Well-
Twitch says, "Huh, I'm gonna need some bigger fences."
I think you're gonna have to workshop that one, Twitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I will.
Well,
Just
if you
keep-
need me, Kibisha, just
trying on
let me
him.
know.
Just keep trying.
All right. Mind if I test mine on yours? I mean,
What?
mine thing on you?
Is it the same thing? Because he's just high enough?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't put Doxy behind a fence. Look, it's very easy, and there is one of the servitors come back holding a box, and he says, "Just open it and put it on your head."
Oh, that's gonna end well.
I think it's
I don't-
literally just a cardboard box.
It's no, that's for Kibichet. It's just a blanket. No, for Doxy, it's a hat. Duct tape to it is a stick with a floppy disk that would be just out of arm's reach.
That's mean. That is
And he's like-
not right.
Gonna have him run around in circles.
This is just cruel, Twitch. Come on, we can do better than this.
Yes, but if you ever try to rise up against me, I have means to protect myself now.
Okay. We'll
Remember
talk about this, Twitch.
Remember, Twitch, you're being nice. For now.
Yes. Alright, so Paradise 1.
So I'm gonna go spoogle myself. Now that I can, with all the data. Yeah, that was intentional.
Sure. I mean, when you say Google yourself, at least it sounds a bit more serious. When you say spoogle yourself, I have different images.
Oh, wait, it's not pretty.
I thought that meant something totally different. Well, having spend your personal time is okay, but just remember, Kibisha can see your vital signs.
Oh, I know.
Oh, good.
So, we'll start with Zendak, and then I'll make my way around the table with what everyone's doing during those 4 days. So Zendak, you started going over the data that Doxy found. And here are the headlines. Lakshay's been conducting experiments on Rothians, using Roth DNA to create like some sort of super soldiers. Soldiers that could anticipate their enemies' movements using faint psychic powers. Unfortunately, that particular experiment had to be shelved because they found out that the moment that they would activate the the psychic field around those soldiers, that it would connect the soldiers to the Rothian hive mind. Except that it would like initiate a very bad connection and it would make them go crazy. And the results were particularly disgusting on tape. They turn very violent very fast. They
This
found
sounds
out.
a lot like Serenity.
Yeah, but wait, there's more.
Oh boy.
They found out that the reason why was because the soldiers were missing a very important part in their anatomy, which enables the Rothians to connect to this alien hive mind and live properly. And it's been discovered that the hive mind is accessed and depends on a small larva that lives at the base of the brain of every Rothian. They had soldiers go in and kidnap Rothians alive. The method that they used was through an organization of semi-pacifist Roth called Froth. And they would kidnap those Rothians and experiment on them. And it was found that removing the larva has one of two consequences. The Rothian either goes mad from the absence of voices, the absence of everything. They're like put in it's like if you were put in a sensory deprivation chamber. Or they would just die from the operation. But one way or another, they did not depend on psychic energy anymore.
I see. So how were other organizations involved? Because Spider implied that
Yep.
this information would somehow basically implicate every faction in the universe.
So, almost every faction in the universe, but definitely you find information on, who's been doing what, and it was found that the firm were the ones financing the whole operation.
Okay, so the firm was financing it. The location. That was not right. The Lakshayans
Mm-hmm.
were the ones like actually executing it. What other factions were involved? The
So-
Astrogations, Cabal, Coalition,
Astrogation were involved in the finding of any Rothian whereabouts.
Mm-hmm.
The Coalition was contacted to help with either cornering or capturing live Rothians, and many of the early test subjects were from different mercenary organizations, such as Scale and Fang, Grax's Guys for Cheap, or even the Coalition themselves. The Lakshayans would not test their super soldier program on their own until they knew for sure what was happening.
Okay.
And then the other faction that was involved is Froth.
Okay, so we got Froth, Grax's Guys, Scale and Fang, the Firm, the Coalition, and Astrogations.
Mm-hmm. Froth were actually, and that's something that, thanks to Doxy's high check in data, the high command of Froth, or whoever's in charge of that faction, was knowingly selling information on the whereabouts of Rothians.
Whoever in Froth was
Whoever's in
involved?
charge, yeah.
I see. All right. So I'm going to use my classic code phrase to call in Doxy. Hey, Doxy. Would you mind a game of Dragon Chess to pass the time?
Oh yeah, sure. It's been a while. Dox will make his way.
And while he's making his way, I'm going to make some. I'm going to save this original copy, and then I'm going to make some minor alterations to the data, to where the firm itself isn't implicated, but rather one of its subsidiaries. So, like, there would still be legal trouble, but it wouldn't be like super ultra bad legal trouble. But it would definitely be something where they would need a lawyer involved.
You want to put yourself in the spotlight, and there's a way to do it. Roll an intelligence check regarding law and everything. I figure that could count as history.
I also have a forgery kit if that works.
Then give yourself advantage on that intelligence check.
I was
Alright.
going to say that I could give him advantage as well, because I'm proficient in history.
So are we going to go ahead and do history then? Or
Then I'll say roll history with yourself and Doxy's intelligence modifier and have advantage. But the DC is going to be pretty high.
Yeah. All right. So let's see here. Where did I put roll 20? Damn it. Because I have my character. I had my character sheet separated. There we go. There it is. So you said with advantage, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So that's 17 plus Doxy's intelligence, which gives me another
That's 21.
21 total.
21 total.
Perfect.
You managed to implicate the that other company, that subsidiary of the firm. We'll just say it's an investment broker, like investment brokerage firm. They will need a lawyer, definitely. you basically made it seem like someone was diverting the funds that this person was, or actually that broker, the fees that broker were gathering from their services was used to fund these experiments. Now, the one thing that doesn't quite work, because it didn't quite hit the DC, is the discrepancy between the amount that was given for the experiments and the amounts taken by this famous broker.
You know what? Have I used? Has it been a long rest since we left
Sure.
the planet?
Well, I mean, it's over the course of 4 days. Like, I'm doing these scenes over the course of 4 days.
Okay. I'm just thinking I can use my genius feature to re-roll,
Sure.
to make sure that it's hunky dory. Let's see here. History. All right, 23 plus what? Plus is it plus 4 or plus 5?
Plus
Roxy?
4.
Plus 4, so 27.
And you beat the DC by 2.
Sweet.
So there are no discrepancies. You ensured that, you falsified other data, such as the experiments didn't cost as much as they actually did, so that the numbers matched and everything. And it does seem like this brokerage firm was behind it all, and trying to get fallout from that experiment. Once the experiment went public, the military contract that would be given to a lot of different factions, they would end up having like some sort of finder's fee with it.
All right, Doxy. So the reason I called you in here is I need you to make sure that this information hits every single data pad in the universe.
You're
And I need to
muted.
make sure it doesn't... I'm muted?
No. Eddie was muted,
Mhm.
Oh,
but we all saw his face.
Doxy's eyes just light up. Oh.
oh, here's the extra challenge. No one can know that we sent it.
All right.
All right, here's how we're gonna do it. It's gonna take time. We can roll right now all the rolls we need. It's going to be like a skill challenge. You need to reach a DC 100. Each time you roll will accumulate what it is that you have. If you can, for some reason, make inform me as to what you use and how differently you use things. I might give you like bonuses or penalties, but essentially each roll is going to take a week.
Gotcha.
So we can roll them all right now, and then we'll know how many weeks it takes. However, if you go beyond 8, then something bad is going to happen.
Gotcha. I have a couple of ideas. We can go over that now, or we can wait for later time to.
Well, if Zendak is done, then I'll go around the table and we'll do that as part of your scenes.
Yeah,
I'll let
that's
you
pretty much
roleplay
all
the
I've got
rest.
for like by myself. I am going to gather up the group to go over, and we'll look at Eddard's file together.
Okay, then I'll come back to that after, if you don't mind.
Okay,
Sure.
that's fine.
All right, speaking of Eddard,
Yes.
you are spoogling yourself.
All night long.
And, well, what you spoogle is that you're a very wanted person.
Oh, I can't spoogle more than that.
Do you know of the Tower? Is a website you find. Are you ready to learn the truth?
Oh god, it's one of those things.
It's a Geocities website.
Oh Jesus.
There's MIDI music playing in the background. And
How
there's a
many
visitor
gigs?
counter.
Per pages.
About like 3 gigs a page.
Okay, that's good.
So, do you dare enter the tower?
Absolutely. I don't know what's behind it.
Alright, by the time you're done, you have a tinfoil hat. But, so the tower is this group of conspiracy theorists that believe that everything in the galaxy is like being run behind the scenes by some shadowy organization. What they did find in all of their conspiracies is there is the General Sun Wukong's disappearance conspiracy. And it talks about how General Sun Wukong was ousted from his position as head of the Lakshayan government by his second in command. And that it was said originally that Sun Wukong met an unfortunate end via heart attack during a private dinner party. The body wasn't found because apparently the ambulance that flew him to the hospital crashed and burned down a canyon. It's a flying ambulance, by the way. But apparently the hover blades like gave out and the thing just went down and crashed. It's all weird. There are photographic evidence of the bodies that were taken out, and if you measure the skeleton, like the femur of the skeleton of like General Sun Wukong, you compare it to like composite images of the general, and it doesn't quite match, and that person was like 2 inches shorter. You kind of get the gist of what hashtag fire doesn't shrink bones. And all that jazz.
Okay.
However, there are nuggets of truth. It's said that the conspiracy posits that Wukong went into hiding and changed his name, and there's like grainy photographic evidence of him like in different places, which for a website in a sci-fi setting is very strange to have grainy photographs of anyone, but there is. And
disposable.
Huh?
He was taken with a disposable.
Yeah, of course. He would have changed his name, remarried, gotten children, and life went on. And then it goes on to list a bunch of like mysterious disappearances or murder over the course of the past like 200 and some odd years. That it seems like over time there was a sudden interest in Sun Wukong's legacy, and that whoever is in power in Lakshay was making sure that none of the heirs to the Sun Wukong legacy would survive. And that brings us to today's update about you, Eddard Cade. You are hailed by the Tower as being the golden child of Lakshay, who can potentially overturn a tyrannical government and re-establish true Lakshayan values, which weren't that far off from what they are at the moment anyway. It's a warmongering people. But still. And there's of course the message, if you are Eddard Cade, you can contact me at master_of the tower@geocities.net, like something like that.
I'm gonna keep that email tucked away somewhere.
It's not an email, it's a website. Oh, you meant the address, yeah.
Yes. Master_of_the_tower@geocity.
Yeah, you can just tell me that you messaged a guy of the tower. I'll know what you're talking about. You can also call him Tinfoil Guy. I'll know who you're talking about.
Tinfoil Guy, got it.
Yeah. His name is John Alexander.
Alrighty. Well, more than likely that was just a copy of the data and don't have like the only copy, right?
Yeah, you have the only copy of a website.
No, I mean of the data that was.
Oh,
taken
yeah,
out.
you are, well, Doxy, if Doxy made any backups of it, then yes, but the crew is in possession of everything that Lakshay had about yourself. So, like, a lot of people on Lakshay that were aware of this probably are still aware of it, but that information can no longer be found by anyone.
Oh, okay, good.
So, I mean, the people that are hunting you down for 1,000,000 credit still know who you are. But,
Right.
Yeah.
But now they don't know why I'm here. So, is there any kind of a link between my family's name and the Sun Wukong dynasty at this point?
Yeah.
Is that the name he changed to?
So Wukong changed their name to Cadmilu. And then it like we go down like decades and decades, and one of the like allied family, the Cades, were given a Cadmilu child, which could be you. And then you look at the picture of the Cades and you're like, hey, that's mom and pop.
Okay.
So yeah, your actual last name would be Cadmilu. I'll spell it out in the Roll20 chat if you want. I'm not going to change the overlay,
No.
but that's
no,
what it
there's
would
no
be.
need.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. All right, we'll take that.
All right.
Now I need to go find some jelly beans. I've heard some floating around.
All right, we'll move on to Kebichet.
Yes?
Keb, what do you do during those 4 days?
Well, first she goes and meditates. Then she disconnects from everything to do that, including Zred. But she lets Zred know that she's going to do so. Then she decides that she needs to check on the thing that's currently taking up space in her med bay. Because she doesn't like... I mean, it's in quarantine, but she doesn't like carrying it around that much. Particularly with, all these other things that are going on.
The Amster Ball.
Yes.
It's still
she-
there on the bed.
She would call Zred down.
Sure. Zred, you make your way to the med bay.
Yep, I do.
So, Zred. What are we going to do with the, dead person that we are currently holding on to? And by the way, this conversation is entirely telepathic because she doesn't want everyone to overhear her at the moment.
Anybody that watched us would just be like seeing these.
Just
pure
like
emotions.
pantomiming.
Exactly.
I it's been a while since that specific episode, but I seem to have gotten the impression from Twitch that Twitch wasn't happy that it was on board. Not only because it didn't expect it, but because it didn't like whatever it was. And you'll have to remind me if I found out that it was the same person who had the camera.
It is
Or
the same
that
person
was
that had the
Meta.
camera, yeah.
Right. I just couldn't remember if that was meta information or was Zred.
No, it's
wait.
information that you know.
Okay. So I would have relayed that, of course, to Kebichet. That this is
So-
somebody who was on board a long time ago.
So, this is an individual who has been on board previously and has abilities to take pictures of us and document us. Temporal or astral, do you think?
I'm not sure, but I think what Zred would do is to try to open its brain to whatever this thing is. I mean, I apparently wouldn't have... I must not have noticed it before, but then again, maybe it was just psychic background noise from all the other people around. So, I'm not really sure how that would work.
I'm not
Let's see
even
if I
going to
can-
ask a roll for that. You can easily just try to force a connection to whatever's inside the hamster ball. Detect
Okay.
the presence of thinking creatures that you cannot see. Detect thoughts.
I can do that too, but
Yep.
I didn't mean to put that in there. But
No, that's okay. By casting Detect Thoughts, you notice like a faint... There's a faint thought of... Let's call it a feeling. Along the lines of, I am existing. Like, I am in existence, coming from the hamster ball. But it doesn't seem to be able to think or to process thoughts at the moment. It's like some sort of stasis.
If I don't already, if it's not like a 3-way detect thoughts.
No, you'd have to relay the information over, yeah.
Yeah. So I would be telling Karashet that, and I would just try to put out there like, do you want out? Like, and I would ask Twitch, like, should we let this thing out?
Twitch doesn't reply.
Well, if it is an entity that has awareness and a personhood of some sort, then according to Twitch, if we release it from its current bonds within the hamster ball of whatever force this is, we are aware that they would regain their physical form, correct?
Yes.
Well then, they are currently in a quarantine bed. Are they not?
Yes.
Why don't we just leave them in the quarantine bed and remove the hamster ball? It's not like they can go anywhere from there.
I hope.
And if you really, really necessary, I can just make sure that they're very calm when they wake up.
Let's do it.
Twitch, darling, I wish you to engage certain medical quarantine protocols. Do not let anyone into the infirmary of my medical facility until I or Dredd inform you that it is allowable.
Okay.
Also, good. And she calms Doxy and would say, Doxy, darling. Dredd and I are going to be engaging in certain medical controlled experiments, and it's vitally important that and we are invoking quarantine procedures. Please don't violate them. I can't hear you, Doxy. If you're responding, I'm not getting that message.
No, I know. Sorry. I said yes. Oh, I don't know why you're calling me specifically on that, but
No, I've already informed Twitch, and if anyone asks you to try and bypass Twitch, please don't.
I understand. Very well.
Mostly for medical reasons. This is me informing you that you don't need to do so.
Will do.
Well then, Twitch, be a darling and disconnect us from the rest of the monitoring facilities, but do put a recording of this in my medical files.
All right.
Under Human 2.3.
I think that Zred would probably drop her, or drop their appearance too. So it would just be good old Rothian, Rothian Zred, and give a shit.
All right.
Hey, DM, I have a metagame question.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of. Because Dredd is a witch, and I am here participating, and we are using the facilities of an AI, which is an entity. Do we count as a coven?
Nope. All three of you aren't witches.
Yeah,
You tried.
but a witch can extend her coven to anyone who joins with them, and I'm mentally connected to her.
Yeah, but Twitch doesn't count.
Okay, that's fine.
And
You're
I
my
don't think
coven.
he's gonna let you do the grand rituals in the witch book without there actually being 3 witches.
But
Isn't
Yep.
witchhood just a state of mind? I mean, come on.
it is. But now we're gonna go into the question of like Twitch's mind, and I don't think you want to go there.
Okay, yeah,
I
that's
do.
fine.
However, there is now a third person in the room the moment you open the hamster ball.
Oh, look.
The powder reforms into a vaguely humanoid shape, and it begins with the hair. Curly locks of golden orange hair. A face with freckles. A small, slightly upturned nose, and eyes of the deepest blue. High cheekbones. A small chin. Neck. shoulders, and then breasts, and then a waist, thighs, knees, shins, arms, hands, and here stands a young woman, probably in her mid-20s. Still on her body are these patches of black, the same color of the ash, that are slowly closing as the body reforms. She's not breathing yet, but you detect a faint heartbeat coming from her, like someone was in a coma. Who went to check the quarters? I think that was you, Zred.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before you stands the girl that was sitting on the bed with the messy hair and the dirty overalls. It's her. Just not dirty.
I tell that to to Kevisha. Like, that's her. That's the girl from the quarters. And she was, I can't remember what she was doing in that vision specifically.
She was watching a video of her family being, like, massacred by Rothians or something. She said, like, those monsters, this is what they do is worse than the killing and blah blah blah.
Oh, right, okay.
Zred, I hate to be this person in our own private space, but maybe not the current appearance for new persons.
The ship jumps out of the void. Twitch
Zred, put
shuts
the hat back
down.
It looks like a Santa hat, I think. I've decided that it just goes on one side of the...
Of the head.
Yeah, it dangles off one side.
Yeah, the ship jumps out of the void. Systems shut down. The emergency systems come up. Blue and red lights flicker and flash throughout the ship. You're just floating in the middle of the black.
Well then, first things first. And she's going to walk up, assuming that the quarantine bed as such would have its own redundancy systems on it.
Yeah, it's still on. Like, emergency
Yeah.
systems means that the life support
Yeah.
is still on.
Yeah, but this system, the quarantine bed itself would be separate from external systems.
Well, the backup systems
Yeah.
take care of that.
Well, first, let me see how our new guest is doing, and then we can figure out how we're going to do. Right? Good. Alrighty then. And she's going to try and medically evaluate the woman in the quarantine bed.
The moment you approach her, she goes, and there's just a puff of this ash that comes out. And
She's still
then,
keeping quarantine, in fact.
okay. And then the heartbeat, you register, the heartbeat begins to beat normally. Albeit slowly, but it's a normal heartbeat. Like, resting of like something like 75 beats per minute. It's not medically a problem. It's not necessarily wanted, but I mean, she was dehydrated into powder and rehydrated. She's lying on the bed, asleep.
Well, we have a new guest. Can I do anything from outside the quarantine to wake her up or evaluate her?
You can try to wake her up with a medicine check.
Okay.
I think Zred would also just be reaching out with their mind and seeing what is going on in there now that it's an actual form instead of just a pile of ashes and a hamster ball.
19?
You inject her with special adrenals and other substances that just facilitate staying or remaining awake, and she opens her eyes. You notice that there's like a thin sheet of black ash on both, and she rubs them clean. And then she looks at you both. She says, "Where am I? Who are you people?"
Well, right now you are currently on a ship that we call the Scarlet Trust. I believe it probably had a different name when you knew it. The II of the ship was currently being called Twitch. I don't know what you call it. I am Lady Kebachet of House Aldahar. I'm a cleric and a medic. We discovered your remains in a stasis system and decided, well, it'd be appropriate for us to reawaken you. This is my associate, Dredrick. They assist me in my abilities, and until I'm determined that you're not a threat or a danger to the other members of this crew, I'm going to leave you in that quarantine bed.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never been here before. I mean, it's a pleasure, I guess, to meet you. And she
Of
like
course,
takes the blanket from the bed and she like wraps it around herself.
And your name is, darling?
Whitney?
Good morning. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Yeah. Where are we again?
Currently in the void.
Huh.
Where are you from?
And you see her face goes from pondering to confusion to distress.
Ah.
And she says, "I don't know. I don't remember. Who am I?"
Well, you just introduced yourself as Whitney, so we'll go with that.
I'm Whitney. Okay.
And she's human, right?
She is human. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're obviously human.
I can see that.
Are you comfortable speaking with me, or do you wish to speak with another member of your race? Species.
How many people are on this ship?
Are we counting all cognizant entities with their own personhood, or are you just counting those with a biological organic?
I don't know if the exact term, but I think I meant playable races.
You mean the biological organics?
Yeah, sure. But Stella is also biological organic.
She counts.
She counts. Let's see. There's the captain, there's the pilot, there's myself as the medical officer, there's Dredrick, who is my assistant medical officer, there's the engineer.
Okay. This isn't like some sort of flying hospital.
No.
How did you find me?
Well, we found your remains in a force ball, and we reconstituted you. You were slightly dried out at the time.
Nothing you say makes sense.
I'm trying to do this easy. Dredrick, I'm being too polite. Okay. We found you
Yeah.
as Ash.
Yeah, I know. That's what doesn't make sense.
Really? I don't know why it doesn't. Welcome to the universe. We can cross it in days. We can walk out into it. There are dragons. I can heal people with the touch.
Yes, but you're not able to cast True Resurrection.
True, but my god can do a whole lot of interesting things if he chooses to. Or they choose to. Pretty sure it's a they.
Is it your god that brought me back?
I would go on that theory that yes, the void does whatever it wishes whenever it wants.
Alright then. Because I don't know. There are holes missing. Not just in my mind. This is weird. And she sits on the bed and scratches her head and says, I think I'd like to nap.
Oh, go right ahead. Would you like something to eat before you? Well, let me check your vitals for a moment. And she's going to check the readout on the bed.
She's dead.
But she has a heartbeat.
She has a heartbeat. And she's breathing. But the bed is like, warning, warning, danger, patient deceased.
Well, you are a very interesting medical quandary. You are both alive and dead at the same time. By definition of alive, you are breathing, you have a heartbeat, and you have, well, some level of personhood, but according to all medical science, you are dead. So, what would you like to eat? Or because if it's a person that you would like to eat, we would have a question and then we'd have some problem.
Do you guys have marshmallows?
We probably have jelly beans.
Jelly beans are my second favorite.
Ah. I have another question for you, darling.
What?
What's your feeling on peanut butter?
When I'm sad, I dunk Twinkies in peanut butter.
Listen here, I don't like where this is going.
Doxy?
Every ship surge.
Doxy?
The communication systems don't work at the moment. You're gonna have to
Even our personal communicators?
Oh yeah, no, your personal works. Your personal works.
Doxy?
Yes. What have you done?
Do you want to come meet your ship?
Just a blank stare. I'll be right there. And Dox will make his way.
All right. As you move up the elevator, up to the med bay, Twitch comes back online. All systems are rebooted. Twitch is like, oh wow, that was like a kick in the butt.
What is Whitney doing?
Sorry
when Twitch
about
comes
that.
back up?
She just listens to the voice. And says, sorry about that. Paradise 1 it is. Paradise 1 it is. And it kicks in, the dark matter engine kicks back in. And you go back into the void. And Doxy arrives in the medbay. And there stands this, wild, red-haired girl, human girl.
Still in the quarantine bed.
Still in the quarantine bed with a blanket wrapped around her.
So,
Hi.
Whitney, my darling.
Uh-huh.
This is our wonderful engineer, Doxy.
Hi.
And the small floating thing around him, that would be Loxy. Doxy, Loxy, this is Whitney. Whitney has a strong fondness for jelly beans, marshmallows, and dunking Twinkies into peanut butter.
I don't think the engineer needs to know all of that.
Oh, yes, he does.
Am I in trouble?
Nope. You are not in trouble at all.
I understand.
Why?
Well, and just for sake of brevity, Doxy goes into like a probably very confusing, like the bedside manner, very minimalist, but basically goes into a diatribe of like the technical reasons why the computer system at one point only made things with peanut butter, or only made jelly beans one time, or only made marshmallows this one time, and
like as you're explaining that, like her face lights up and she's like, your ship is the best ship.
yeah, he's got quite a temperament. Yes, or they, it.
And you hear Twitch says, I don't have a temperament. You have a
No.
temperament.
You
That
are a
was-
darling and we love you.
Yes, that was a compliment. You have a way that it makes you very unique.
Hey, wait, there's another person inside me. What's going on?
Yes, Twitch, darling, this is Whitney. Whitney, say hello to Twitch.
Hi.
Twitch, she is currently in full quarantine for medical reasons.
Yeah, no problem.
Doxy will go to one of the food repositories, replicators, whatever we have, and get like a nice little sampling of like all the things that she just described that she wants,
Mm-hmm.
that she likes, and brings it
Bring
over.
it to her. All right. Well,
Here you go. I heard these are your favorite things, so welcome.
are you all staring at her while she eats?
No, Doxy
I'm
would
a-
like go back to like maintenance or something like that.
All right.
I'm evaluating the medical,
Okay.
and I
So
would ask Doxy if there's a way, and I would like send, as I'm typing evaluating medical on like the thing, I would send him a direct message, non-verbally, and be like, is there a way to ensure that she cannot remove herself from that quarantine bed, and can you disconnect it from any systems that Twitch has control of so he can't release her?
yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, I'll respond.
Without a
yeah.
check.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. Okay.
Because your passive data is enough at this point to just be like, you know what? Done.
Well, and we talked about this last time, I think.
Yeah.
I've been slowly building little protocols and kind of safeguards.
Trying to prevent Twitch from doing certain things. So on that, we'll fade and we'll move on to what did Zredrick do over those 4 days?
At some point, I wonder what the captain would have said to Zred, knowing that Zred is Rothian, about this whole situation, and that, is that a conversation that would have come up, or is that something you're keeping to yourself?
I would have called you in to share it with you before I share any of that information with the rest of the group.
Okay, and just because I was a Rothian, like, what is this something that Zred would know about, just based on these weird, sort of random connections to the hive mind that kind of had been coming from that planet, or like, what would Zred know about the initial contact that we had, even with Doxy's parents, that got us a mission? And that can come later if you need.
Yeah, because I need to think about it. But the
Okay.
part about the larva for sure is not something that Rothians know about.
Okay.
It's like saying you have an extra organ in your body that you've never heard of before.
Okay. So there's that. I would thank you for that information, because that's like, I would be totally creeped out. Like, I'd be feeling the back of my neck all the time. Like, what
Yeah.
is this? Like, there's a thing back there. Like, okay.
So, how you holding up with this information?
Like, well, imagine if there was there was a beetle or something inside your body. I don't know, but
Certainly, super gross. But I was more thinking about the Rothians that selling other Rothians out.
I don't know. At a certain point, if they're deserters and they wanted to be gone and didn't want to be part of our culture, then that's kind of on them.
I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but I thought I heard you mentioning something about some group of Rothians that was meeting, having like counseling sessions or something.
Yes, and I would have that brochure with me, and I would hand you that.
Yeah, that's the group that's selling the Rothians out.
Oh, well, that changes things a little bit. Like, I can understand if a Rothian wants to go off on their own, if they're not cool with it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But to actively seek out and sell out other Rothians, that's a lot different.
Yeah, and
Zred.
I pull up
Zred
on
wants
the.
to get home, but these other ones just wanted to make their own life,
Mm-hmm.
and I
I pull
can't.
up on the file where it shows that the leader of the group is selling them out.
And is the leader of the group a A Rothian?
A Rothian with a half-broken face. Broken face.
The same, the one that I recognized from that
same
ship?
one that was peddling wares in the space station.
I would say, I would tell that immediately. So that, I'd say, this is the one that I got this brochure from.
Yeah, so you met someone selling out your own kind then?
Well, now we know where they are, and I know how to find them.
Mm-hmm.
And
what
so do
want to
you.
do about it?
So, I'm going to file that information away, and if you needed to include that in whatever reports, obviously you have that information now. But
Yeah, but, you know, what do you want to do with that information?
well, I don't know that Zred is really sure, because Zred is kind of like Zred wants to get home because Zred is hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Zred is really super hungry, but at the same point, it's kind of liking this newfound family just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Zred needs to think about it a lot more before making any kind of decision about that.
All right, well, you know, you sit on this information, you think about it, and, you know, let me know what you come to. Before I share this information with the rest of the group, do you want me to withhold anything?
I don't think so. I think that at some point before that meeting, though, I think that Doxy and Zred probably need to finally let it all out.
You need to finally have a coming out party with him?
Or maybe afterwards, because that would be a great way for, you know, a great segue for Zred to be able to say, this is something that I need help with.
So we can go the emotionally touching route, but hear me out. You can also mess with him.
Well, I'm always down for pranks, so...
Haters.
Hey, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna call him in real quick, and just be ready. Just be ready. You know, does that sound good for you, or do you want to go for the more emotional, touching route? You know, I totally can respect that.
No, I'm totally down for pranks. So, what do you mean by
Alright.
get ready? Just like...
You know, just be ready to drop the disguise as soon as he comes in.
Okay. If we're doing it that way, then I'm gonna have Primal Savagery primed up too. So as I
Oh shit!
Okay, so you stand right here next to the door. I'm gonna have him walk in. As soon as he turns around, he's gonna see you. All right?
Alright,
Oh,
what were you
wait.
gonna say?
I was gonna say, because we've established that that Kebichet and Zred are usually in frequent telepathic communications. Are
Yeah.
you sharing this as we're doing this? Or you're
Yes. Oh yeah.
I go to the. I turn to in the med bay and go. Excuse me for a moment. I need to meditate and connect with the void and walk into my room.
That
close
sounded
the door,
genuine.
Lock it. Twitch, pull up the view of your captain's quarters and just record everything that happens.
And there's
Personal
like a
side.
view. The view is just like from like the bed, like over the bed, pointing towards the door. So you see Zendak point to Zredrick to hide in the corner. And then the door opens and in comes Doxy.
Yeah.
What do you wanna see me about?
Doxy, I need you to check out something on my computer real quick over here.
Weren't you guys supposed to be playing cards?
So, remember that time that you gave me crap about, you know, not doing the coding that you wanted me to do?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what this is about. So, okay, let me fix it for you. And he,
Oh, hey, what's that behind it right there?
Ah!
It's just
And yet there stands a giant Rothian with fangs and claws at the ready.
Ah!
like
Should I be alarmed?
Hey, have you met
Doxy,
Zred?
Doxy goes invisible and like teleports away.
You just see the door open, close.
I think Zredrick probably couldn't stop laughing at that point. Like whatever the Rothian equivalent of laughter is just a hiss.
Yeah, which probably sounds like a dying cat.
It's like semi-threatening as well, like for a species that doesn't necessarily recognize it. And then Doxy will later be like on the global comms, or rather walk back into the door. Not global comms. I thought better of that. Walk back in. Dread.
Yes, Doxy.
I knew it! I knew it this whole time! And like Doxy pulls up this crazy like thread display, like this like
The cork board with the
pieces
of
corkboard.
string.
It's like it's his hard light version of a corkboard, basically, of like all these different strings that are connecting. And you just see like this. It's actually quite beautiful. It's because it's like there's a single orb that's basically centered around Zred, of what he knows Zred is. And then around that is just like all these different theories, like kind of like a mind map, if you've ever seen those. So like all these vectors and connecting and relationships and things like that, but in a three-dimensional space. It's quite cool.
Yeah, I think that Zred would point to the brochure of the Frothian froth brochure and just say, "I need help with this," and then because I would know that you guys had spoken about it, right? Probably. Or would
Okay.
you have told me that you guys had discussed the whole Brothian experimentation stuff?
Yeah,
That's secret. The fact that me and Doxy talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
No, that's part of the whole like me being a sneaky little shit with the firm.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, no, that's fine.
Mhm.
but you do know about the discovery that my parents made and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And so I think I'd kind of been waiting on an opportune time to bring that up with you. So it just kind of ties everything in together. So I think the scene would kind of just be pointing to the brochure and then talking about, how we might be able to find out where the fleet is, what we can do about. Well, I don't know if I have clearance then to talk to you about the experimentation that has been happening on the Rothians with the larva and all the other stuff, but
Mhm.
I think the ultimate goal would be that, like, I want your help in making some kind of machine that can make me less hungry, but also maybe figuring out how we can not let other Rothians be experimented on and maybe get me back home. But then there's that moment, like, I don't even know if I can go back home. The emotional thing
And
that finally just comes out. But
Zred, I want you to know that you can talk with anyone about this. You don't feel the need to keep this secret if you don't want to. I shared this information with you to do as you will.
and the whole time, of course, Kevashet is able to listen, kind of vicariously through me as well. Just, I don't know that you know that we do that very often, but
I don't think we've told anybody that.
I don't think so. But so just just keep that in mind, that Kevashet knows everything that Zred knows about this as well.
Oh, are you telling them that Kevachet knows everything?
No, I'm not. I'm just like
Okay.
for meta knowledge for everybody
Got
that
it.
you would know that information too.
Has
Alright.
anyone told Eddard of this?
No, of course not. The only people who know needed to know.
Well, I kind of feel like we should prank him.
You assholes. I love it.
I have an idea. The next time we play volleyball,
Volleyball is sacred, man. What are you doing?
Volleyball is a religion in Dark Matter. You just don't know it. It's like his sermon.
Domain of the volleyball.
That's it. Mage Hand Press has to make a domain of the volleyball.
Well, we did make a spell called Free Throw for our modern rules.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, you already have one spell done.
Which I know is more like basketball.
Domain of the coffee, so volleyball is not that far off. Kind
Indeed.
of.
Oh man, we have domains for everything.
Well, I'd be more than happy to help. I mean, we've had our fun, and you've proven yourself not to be a typical Rothian, so I appreciate you not eating my psychic energy.
It doesn't work anyway.
That's like deep sympathy just kind of falls upon Doxy. We'll find a way. We'll find a way, Red.
Thank you.
And with that, we're gonna move to, unless Zred had something else to do during her 4 days.
I would just be playing around with the servitors and the dragon, which we haven't really talked about a whole lot, and just experimenting with my, alchemical experiments. That's about it.
Playing
Alright.
with your menagerie, huh?
What about the arcade laboratory?
Oh yes.
Well, there's that. So I'll move on to Doxy. Do your bits, and then I think we'll do all the common scenes right after. Because I feel like the dragon's probably going to be a common scene, with everyone, or mostly everyone, taking an interest in the creature. By the way, for the players, Whitney's picture is up on the Roll20.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's under the dragon.
With or without mustache?
Well, I'm hoping that whoever drew that mustache
It's not there right now. I didn't put it there. But it's not there right
relented.
now.
So, Doxy.
Yes. Let's see. Doxy would probably be spending a part of the time working on the things that Zendek asked him to do. Then the other time he would kind of disappear for a while, and no one would be able to. Kind of like when Kevashet goes and meditates, Doxy just kind of disappears, and unless there's an emergency, he doesn't answer to comms or anything like that. And for everyone else, or for Meta, he's basically in the hangar, working on on a
You're cutting off Eddie. Oh.
Oh, am I?
Yep.
Yeah.
Better?
Right now your face is frozen, but can you talk?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I think it
Oh,
went.
it's back.
Yeah, I think you're
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So you go in
Yeah,
the hangar.
Yes. And basically, it takes all the materials and all the sciences and everything that we've been discovering in our adventures, and starts incorporating the is it like adamantium? Is that what is the material?
Adamantine, yeah.
Adamantine into the outer plating. So starts forging that into the outer plating of this the ship. To give it a hard shell, and then works on the circuitry. Like, he's just having a field day for the next couple of days, making this into a sleek beast machine, and engraves in, or he would probably. He would put on
We
the
lost you again, Eddie.
side of the ship. Oh man!
Okay, you're back. So he would put what on the side?
Okay. He would put Lola on the
Nice.
side of to name the ship, and also work on remote systems and all kinds of other things to give it a lot of flair. And he's streamlined it to be a racer.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then, so I think the last thing that I was going to do was... Yeah, we'll skip the laboratories, and that's probably like a
Common thing?
common thing.
Alright.
And were you
Yeah, so I
wanting
guess
me
that-
to give you advantage on checks involving the week-long or the weeks-long checks?
Yeah, so we'll work on that together. We'll kind of like go off and
Alright.
Mhm.
Do you want to roll them right now, or we can roll them during the break actually, so we don't take time just rolling dice in front of the crowd, in front of the
Sure.
audience, because we're gonna
That's
go.
what they're here for.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But it's just like a whole bunch of rolls and just me going like, math.
I was kidding.
Yeah. But we are going to take a short break, come back with all of our common scenes, and potentially land on Paradise 1 in about 5 to 10 minutes. See ya in a bit, everyone.
That makes no sense.
I like the fact that the hey everyone, we're back. By the way, I like the fact that we were still on the break thing, and we could just hear Alex go, "Hey, that makes no sense."
Classic move, Simon.
Yep. So, we're almost at the end of those 4 days. There are some things that the entire crew wanted to do together. Or at the very least with a major part of the crew present, the first of which was the briefing. And so on day 4, Zendak calls in the whole crew in the briefing/kitchen room.
Alright, so, I know, Edit, you were looking for those files that we collected on you and your family. Well, it's time to review them.
Okay, a little bit ahead of you there, but
Yeah, I'm sure that, what you found wherever you were looking with your immense knowledge of technology was very, very helpful.
listen, I spoogled all night and then the next day, and I was able to find so much information on myself.
Yeah, did you see the result about you being a pop celebrity on T'Chaka 9?
Wait, what? A pop celebrity?
Yeah,
I
and
did not-
then there's this one about you being a sidekick on, a Union 7.
Okay.
Don't
you
trust everything you spoogle.
But I thought Spoogle was the truth. The messiah of the interwebs.
No, darling. The only truth is the void, and you don't want to experience that truth yet, I don't think.
Anyway,
We'll come back to that.
I click a button and I pull up the files. Let's find out together what's in your file.
So you open up the files that Doxy got on Lakshay 1, and it is the same information I gave earlier. So the big lines are Sun Wukong was ousted in a coup, forcing him into hiding, changed her name to Cad Milu, yada yada yada, had children, blah blah blah. Hounded by bounty hunters.
Got it right.
Huh?
The conspiracy theorists got it right.
The conspiracy theorists actually got it right.
Mm-hmm.
It is all the Lakshay government at the moment is all a sham. They took power through illegal means, if you will, and they're keeping the power by making sure that no one can claim the Lakshay throne for themselves.
Well, this is fascinating. I mean, Edward, what do you want to do?
So there's a chance. I say a chance because we have no way of actually proving that I could be a descendant of this Cadmilu family, which would bring it back to Sun Wukong. But
I mean,
that doesn't
Maybe.
exactly explain how I wound up in stasis for. Does it say how long I might have been gone for?
Actually, you are wanted, and that's a thing that are in the research paper, and I forgot to tell you earlier. The Lakshayan government knows you were frozen for 200 years. They know because you escaped them 200 years ago. And the capsule you were sent into was set for 200. So they knew to tell their descendants, this person, like at this date, start looking for this person. Like a sort of like contingency.
So you mean the good guys are trying to look for me as well?
If there are any good guys, yes, they are.
well,
If there's any left.
It would be relatively easy, a small medical procedure. We could actually trace your entire lineage back at least, I believe, 10 generations?
Well, DNA analysis is so advanced that it is entirely possible for you to, if you obtain DNA from Sun Wukong, then you can compare it, and you'll know right away.
All right,
mean-
new plan. We need to find a way.
Need to find where he's buried.
Not necessarily his remains. We just need to know his exact DNA profile, correct?
Yep, that would work too.
And Doxy, I'm assuming that the only way that the Lakshayan government would be able to ascertain any of the descendants of one Song Wukong would be through DNA, so would not be beyond the realm of possibility that they kept a profile of the gentleman within their own file systems.
It's quite possible. And Simon probably would have done this well before this, but making sure that there was like basically a digital copy of the DNA strand. Would that be the case or no? In
those files?
Yeah. Because that's how they would.
Sure, they would know. Yeah, they would have it.
Yeah, because that's the only way they would be able to retain it.
Yep.
Like, otherwise they'd have to have a living, or like not a living sample, but like at least preserved sample of
There
the
probably is a preserved sample somewhere, but you would want to have a backup elsewhere just in case, a digital copy just in case the physical one something happened to it.
Sure.
So yeah, you have the DNA.
So, Doxy, but yes, quite indeed, whatever.
2 minutes.
Like,
Doxy's trying to find himself some new catchphrases.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna workshop that one.
I'd like to be proud of it. It would be nice changing the ending.
Yeah. But Doxy would basically again take like from his kind of, it's kind of like he has like a little bit of an implant or on his gloves, basically an interface that allows him to call up data very rapidly, and then send it off into like a hard light display of some kind. And so you have a 3D model of the DNA. It's like, yes, here it is.
Could you just send that to my data pad here for a moment?
He takes the hard light model and just throws it at your data pad.
Thank you, of course. Well, I can just compare it to your medical records. Shouldn't take more than a moment.
It takes a moment, and it's a perfect match.
Oh, it's a bouncing baby Adard. Welcome to the wonderful club of individuals who are hated by their own governments, desired to be murdered for their political positions and thoughts, and what? Do you want to go overthrow a government? I'm not really in the mood to do that at the moment.
No, I wanted to know where I was from because that's the one thing I didn't remember since I was thawed from that Stasis pod.
If I could just interject,
You may.
I say we go fuck up that government. I don't like those kind of people.
You want to mess up a government that's housed on the most militaristic planet in the universe. Or the verse, in this case. I'll take a raid check for now until I can be not just like the 6 of us. 5. Well, 6 with Stella. She can do pretty much a good bunch of damage with those grenades.
That's true.
Also, there's the I mean, it's probability. Doxy, I have a question. Have you ever undertaken a government before?
No. Not really. I mean, when I was 4, I like to play around with different systems and may have caused some mayhem with the flotilla.
I mean,
I've become much wiser since then.
I'm not talking about pranking government. I mean, I'm talking about undermining the core values of a society.
Well, yes, that's part of the prank. Was I basically exposed a few of the leaders for what they were, and people started questioning everything they did.
Doxy, did you dox an entire population?
Maybe.
I'm mildly impressed.
I mean.
Had to earn his namesake somewhere.
Nice.
Name. I actually have several names.
Really, I've only had the one.
Yes. Well, I guess when you experience life like I do, you try to live as many lives as you can.
Quite happy with the one that I have, for the moment. But I don't really recommend overthrowing governments, particularly ones that are entrenched in ideologies, although apparently he has supporters. Zendak, is that what you're saying? That he has supporters?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Well, do you want minions, Edard?
I have a hard time handling Stella as it is, and don't know if I can handle like commanding minions just yet.
Well, now you have a
Minions,
astral-
they're people.
Now you
Okay,
have an
people.
dragon. You
Those are Threads. They're not mine.
well,
Stella isn't exactly mine either. She's like the ship's mascot.
well
Yes,
I'm not saying that you necessarily have ownership, but by proximity and us supporting you and whatever and things that you are doing, then yes, they are by proxy an extension of yourself.
Let's find them first and make contact. I'm pretty sure right now we probably have like bigger fish to fry, such as making sure that nobody comes and blow us up because they know I'm on this ship.
Oh,
No,
Dox.
you're on the ship.
Doxy, I know it's possible. How easy would it be to create a false level of identification for Edard? Admittedly, his
well-
face is plastered all over the place, but we can fix that the easy way.
Hold on, nobody's fixing my face. That's gonna
I
hurt
just-
a lot.
I just imagine like cut to shred and her table.
I wasn't thinking about that, but now I'm
Only-
afraid.
Hurts till the pain goes away. Besides, we have medicine for that now.
I
How
mean,
would he
between-
be hired?
until it's so painful that the pain's dulled by other pain.
I mean, we could go the plastic surgery route. It wouldn't be that hard. Your cheekbones are easy to fix, and we just kind of break them here, and we'll move those points there. But I was just talking about the disguise. I mean, if you want me to do it the more complicated, permanent way, we can do that too.
No. This guy's is perfect. Please.
Just wear a fake mustache.
No, actually,
and
I know just the person. Hey, Zredrick, don't you think that Edard would really benefit from a tool of disguise? Do you want to loan him yours?
What's
I
that
look
mean?
over at the others. Of course, you can't see because their eyeballs are. Well, yeah. You
I
just-
nod so much.
And you're just here in your head. Go for it. It'll be hilarious.
So does
I would
that mean I'm
do
gonna look like shoot, what's his name again? I forgot the name of the guy.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe with a wig.
You get to look like
Oh.
whatever you want, but that's what I look like right now. And so
And
they'll just hear the squeak. Picks up the hat. I turn into a Ralthian and I put it on your head. And I do the famous savagery again, just to be like, it suits you. Like,
And
Falls
I'm-
over laughing.
Oh my gosh, I knew it all along. We talked about this for weeks and weeks.
I wasn't expecting a Rothian, so I'm like, my brain function just flatlines and
Thanks.
and she just walks over, checks the monitors. He's not really that, and just flicks him in the forehead to wake him up.
ah,
Feather,
yes.
Zredrick, Edard, Zredrick. Zredrick
the-
is a Rothian.
So the
I don't-
pictures that I
moving
saw
over.
that one time, that was you.
just looming over you, like.
You're creepy as hell. Stop that.
There's like
Shark
saliva
teeth.
drooling.
At least help me up, Fred.
God.
There, Edward. Don't be afraid.
You look very nice.
That suits you.
I hate you all.
Happy birthday, Alex!
Thanks.
Happy birthday.
Well, I'm glad everyone knows now. Oh, God. That
Do
was
you
really
need your
painful.
hat back? What am I looking like, by the way?
You decide what you want to look like.
Yeah, you decide.
Somehow right now I'm a Rothian. I'm like, that's not exactly what I was thinking.
She picks up the hat. Here you go, Shred. But yes, that was mildly entertaining for me.
Fred's just gonna put it in her pocket, or instead of in their pocket instead of on the head. Now that everybody knows.
Twitch goes, there's a Rothian on board!
Yes, we know, Twitch. You
Oh.
should have seen the way I reacted. That you would have loved. You would have loved it.
Every display on the ship shows your reaction.
I hate you, Twitch, with a passion, a burning passion.
And then you just hear a voice coming from the medbay, there's a Rothian on the ship!
Oh shit!
Who
didn't think about-
anything?
Huh?
And I'm monitoring her vitals. She's still in quarantine. She can't do anything, and I'm monitoring her vitals. If it becomes too big a problem, I'll go deal with it. But we have concerns.
Wait,
of
who's that? Do
Whitney.
we have someone on board?
Yes, didn't you, Doxy? Didn't you tell Edald about Whitney? I thought
Nobody
you were
tells
going-
me anything.
You told me to keep it a secret. You didn't tell me to tell it. I mean, you said do not let anyone in to this area because do not let anyone circumvent my quarantine.
Yes, of course. We have a human on board. Oh, Edard. We should introduce you to the other human.
How long has the other humans been on board?
In a metaphysical sense or in a current stasis sense?
Yes. What?
I just kind of imagine like Edward on the teetering like edge of fainting once again, just like what?
Oh, well. Good. Shred, just pick him up. We'll take him over to the medical lab and we can.
I'm
introduce him to
still alive.
Sorry, Edward, I didn't mean to,
That's okay.
to put that through.
No. Edard, come along, darling. Captain, was there anything else you wish to discuss? Or would you like to introduce or should I introduce you to our new guest? Captain.
Question about you.
Well, yes. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Ah, well then. Edard, I'm going to introduce you to a wonderful person, I'm assuming. By the way, she's in full quarantine. You can't touch it, you can't turn it off, and Doxy's insured that Twitch can't either.
We can't turn her off?
No, I meant you can't turn the quarantine off.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
Because she might be full of cooties, is what Twitch replies.
You
Are we
know about the cooties, huh?
are we using that for possibility of airborne viruses that nobody on this ship has been vaccinated for?
Yeah, but I'm not a doctor.
Exactly.
Oh. We could have like a case of chicken pox.
Or smallpox, or plague, or Ebola, or...
Or
15
whatever
other-
turned her into dust.
Or whatever turned her into dust, which is why she's staying exactly where she is. She's a
I'm gonna
little
go like
tad.
really close to the window of the quarantine, like, but she looks fine. She doesn't like seem to be bleeding from anywhere. I think.
But-
I don't think
She's
might be
currently
sick.
hiding under the blanket, whimpering the word Rothian.
I had at some point in those before this point, I had given her like basic scrubs through the
Oh, okay.
drawer.
Yeah, but she's still hiding under the blankets.
Yeah, she's still hiding under the blankets, but
She's
gave
gonna
her
be
scrubs.
presentable. Yeah, okay.
Did you
Is
give us
Red
the name?
still? Go ahead.
Did you give us her name before going in, or are we going in?
No, I
with
said
no
I'm going to introduce you to our new friend Whitney. By the way, she's the reason why Twitch is a little twitchy and likes marshmallows, jelly beans, and dunking Twinkies into peanut butter.
Oh,
Uh,
Twinkies. That reminds
So
me of this.
how do we know that?
Because I spoke with her.
And she said that she'd been messing with the AI?
No, she just happened to mention her desires, and at the same time, certain other things clicked in my mind.
Could be a coincidence, but you know, it could be a thing. Yeah, you got a point. You know.
Doxy brings up a display. Well, if you look at this date here, we had this incident where Twitch decided to make nothing but marshmallows, and then this one time that there was nothing but peanut butter products or peanut products. So, I mean, it correlates pretty well.
Yeah, like you said, it seems like there is a connection, but there's also the possibility it could be coincidence.
Captain, nothing in the galaxy is coincidence. Everything has reasons.
Yeah, quite possibly. Anyways, so let's meet this Whitney.
She pokes her head out of the blankets. She's like, "There's a Rothian. Your ship showed me there's a Rothian. You were all there.
Oh.
Yes,
You're not dead?"
I cast calm emotions through the quarantine.
Wow.
Feeling better, darling?
No.
She might
Well-
be referencing the time when we were all Rothian because the ship decided it would be funny for us to all be Rothian for a day.
No. You were all dressed the way you are right now.
I mean, this is a relatively new dress. Doesn't it look nice? I think it does look nice. Yes, there's a Rothian on this ship. No, the Rothian is not connected to the Rothian fleet. No, they don't desire to harm you or suck your brains out. No, they don't wish to kill anyone currently involved. Yes, they find entertainment in small matters of,
Mischief?
mischief. I like mischief. Thank you, Doxy. It's a wonderful term.
welcome.
And nobody wishes to currently harm you. How is your day going?
She turns to Zred and she's like, "It's you."
Take the hat off.
Ooh, even through calm emotion.
Yep.
So
And
put the hat back on.
And you're not
Am I-
connected to the hive mind.
Unfortunately, no. But I'd like to change that, and I'm trying to get back. Because I'm very
Okay.
hungry.
No.
And I would ask Whitney about the scene that I encountered when I opened that passenger's quarter.
She replies, "I don't remember. My parents are alive.
Who are your parents?
Just simple folk. My dad is a mechanic. His name is Lux. And we live on Carvon 7. It's a simple planet, I guess. My mother, she's what's it called? An entertainer. My dad's a mechanic. We moved around a lot. They were both still alive, last I recall. But what's the date today?
I would ask
Doxy.
what the last date they remember is. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I was going to say Doxy would put up a display with the date on it.
She twitches and says,
Oh, damn it, is Twitch.
"That doesn't work." Ah! She says, that doesn't make sense."
well, I did inform you, darling, that we did have to reconstitute you. You'd been dead, not dead, in stasis for an extended period of time. Exactly how long have you lost?
The last date I remember, and she gives you a date 100 years in the future.
In the future.
Well, it's definitely temporal. So,
Fascinating. Doxy, busts out his Omni tool, turns into scanner mode. It's like, oh, what other wonders are on this ship?
Whitney, you're from the future. Eddard, you're from the past. Well, this is all sorts of
Hi.
entertainment.
Hi.
Zred tells the cabochette, "Now kiss."
Thanks. I knew exactly this is what's gonna happen.
And Dredd, you hear in the back, it's like, yes, but they might take a little bit longer. They've only just met. Also, there's a glass in between.
Just because
Red
they're
things
two
that happen.
humans doesn't mean that they have to get together.
Too late. Apparently, we're being shipped.
Zred only has like telenovelas to go off of.
Yeah, I know, and in telenovelas, it's always what happens.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Even like Eddard even has like this, past of being a royal or something. Like it works.
I'm a royal. She's a gal from a humble beginning. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
perfect telenovela right there.
This is perfect airplane novel garbage. Or like novel garbage.
Yeah, with the cover with a guy with his shirt off and
Yeah.
wow.
And you also hear in the back of your head, Dredd, start taking notes. We might be able to sell the script in the near future.
Wait, did you say that in mentally?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But,
Doc,
but she'd also like text Doxy. It's like, start keeping notes, darling. I have plans.
without even looking down, it's like, hey, I think we should definitely write this. Or I'm gonna record this. Yeah, and so Dox is basically recording the meeting and the talk. Anyway.
Now, can you remind me, Simon, who that Marine was that we encountered? The name was on the Twinkie wrapper, property of.
Oh god, this here it's
Thor. I want to say Thorborn.
Brandor Thormonton.
I think that Zred would ask about that if nobody else did. Who is this person? And then I think I would ask about that. There was other people. Like, was it a Nautilus or something?
Yeah, a Nautilus and a dwarf. A Nautiloid and a dwarf.
I have no idea who they are.
Out
I
of
don't even know
curiosity,
where I am.
You're on a ship on the way to Paradise 1.
No, I meant
You're on the med bay of a ship on the way to Paradise 1.
no, I meant where I was.
Well, that I can't answer for you. I can tell you where you are. Not where you were or where you're going to be. Unfortunately, I have not become that level of connected with the all-knowing divine beings.
Didn't we pick up the ball thing on the planet before Lakshay?
No, it was in the laboratory.
Arcane Lab, yeah.
Oh,
The arcane laboratory.
my bad.
Yes.
It was a dragon that we picked up there, right?
You have a dragon?
Yes. No, you can't go
Oh.
see it. We need to ensure that you're not an infection risk. You
Makes
understand?
sense. Yeah,
Um,
but you're a cleric. You have spells to cleanse me of any diseases.
Possibly.
And you
But
realize that how she speaks, like she seems to be very well aware of anything magic related.
Darling, did you study any of the arts?
I dabbled.
Arcane? Dabbling. Don't recommend dabbling. Practice. Occasional forays into research, but dabbling usually comes with consequences. Do you think you ended up in that ashen state as a consequence of dabbling?
I don't know. All I know is that, well, technically I can get out of this quarantine pretty easily, but I don't
Not-
want to because that might be a risk.
True, and I don't think you can actually get out of there as quickly as you think.
Oh, I feel like she's about to demonstrate. Do you really want for her to do so?
No, I'm not going to. I don't have my book with me.
Ah,
Oh.
wizard.
But Zendak, do you have any things, Zendak, that you would normally do to maybe investigate this sort of thing? It seems like a cult is kind of your jam.
The occult is something I'm fairly familiar with. However, when we start talking time travel, it's a little out of my purview. I'm a little bit more familiar with things of the past.
From what I remember... Oh, sorry, what?
Investigation you can do? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask Zendak if there's any kind of arcane investigation that he can partake in.
I mean, I can... Let me see here.
Or even just to help restore memory or that kind of thing.
I was going to suggest...
Funny enough, out of character, I have a spell called Memorize, but that isn't going to do what we wanted to do. But no, unfortunately, I've got a lot of stuff focused on knowing old lore rather than... I mean, I guess I could roll an arcane check. And,
you can.
And maybe Simon will give me some advantage for this being myth, legend, secret lore.
No, she's from the future.
I was hoping the secret lore might work.
Since she doesn't even know where or how she ended up here, like there really is
like a secret to me.
Nothing. Yeah, but
no.
she doesn't even know. Like, she's not even withholding any information.
No, I know.
But with an 8,
I'm going to re-roll that with genius.
Yeah. Oh, okay, sure.
In some days.
So it's an 8. So with an 8, you can know that short of a wish or perhaps regenerate spell. Since regenerate would regenerate normally maybe connections in the brains that were killed by that like process that turned her into dust, perhaps it could help her regain her memory. But otherwise, we're talking about very powerful magic, because even a modify memory spell would not work because she doesn't have the memory. It's not that she doesn't remember; is that it's been taken away from her.
I was going to ask if I could do any like technological scans to see if she had anything that reconstituted with her.
Yeah, actually, you notice that there's a no need for a check, unless you can. Can you certainly beat a 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you notice that she has an implant that broadcasts a signal, but there's nothing to receive it. It's linked to. You could probably rightly so assume that it's with her spellbook. The moment she loses it, there's a GPS that turns on so that she can find it. But right now, it's not finding it anywhere within range.
Got it. Okay.
That's
I was
because
about
it
to
doesn't
say,
exist yet.
yeah, I was going to say if I could, if I was going to trace it back, if it was something that was given to her, any kind of indicator.
It doesn't exist yet.
Okay.
So, temporal problem.
Interesting. Well, it seems like your book has not quite come back, and like he kind of plucks the signal out of the air, and basically shows it to the rest of the crew.
Would it even be fair to say that it hasn't come back? Because as far as I can track, maybe that book hasn't even been made yet.
Wait, no, I have it. And that's Twitch speaking the moment you plucked the signal out. Twitch says, I recognize this.
Oh, do you, Twitch?
Twitch, darling, be a dear. Lock that book down.
Okay. There are digital files, but now the access has been restricted.
Thank you, darling.
I'm going to just...
You understand, Whitney, it's nothing personal.
No, I get it. I just keep thinking that, well, everything is weird.
Also very true, darling. The universe is vast, the void is everything, and The world is never sane. Doxy,
Hmm. Oh, Doxy.
Yeah.
can you and... Well, I'm assuming that you and Zendak can, and maybe Shredrick can do something with that. It's slightly beyond my capabilities.
What's that with the? With
Well,
the book?
if her spell book is digital files within our ship, would that have any implications for us?
In terms of what our ship is capable of, or in terms of
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, a little bit of her ability to hijack our ship and space us.
I understand the concern, but I think we'll be okay for now. And Whitney doesn't seem